Hello, people of the internet, and welcome back to Restaurant Productions, where I talk about everything comics, movies, and superheroes. So, I just watched Gen V Season 2, Episode 7, and this is my personal favorite episode from Season 2. And this episode felt quite cinematic. In fact, it had a lot of plot going on around, and we will talk about that twist, that reveal that happened in this episode. And I was actually hooked that twist. It reinvigorated my interest in this series because this felt quite of a bland season. This felt like, yeah, it felt quite boring. It felt like, yeah, I'm just watching it for the sake of watching it to kind of understand what is going on with the boys universe. So in the first 6 episodes we saw Marie just being transformed into a more and more powerful soup, but right now that fulfillment of that powerful that Marie has become, that power has been fulfilled for this purpose, and that purpose we get to know in this episode. And what is that purpose? We'll talk about it. But first of all, sub to the channel for more superhero content, all these reviews of the superhero series, and all. I also make a lot of stuff about comics. So yeah, so sub for that, and let's continue right on. So in this, it is revealed that the cipher that we know is actually like Cipher doesn't exist. There is no Cipher. Cipher is a very fake identity created by Thomas Godolkin, who was still in that hyperbaric chamber. He was crippled and burned for his life, but he still used his powers to make this person as a Cipher, a super powered being. So first we speculated that he didn't have any powers because he didn't have any V in his systems, but then it was like he has powers. So maybe he was a natural born soup. But even that wasn't the case because he wasn't a soup at all. He was just a random person out of nowhere. And he was being mind controlled by Thomas Godolkin. Whose power is that? And the amount of power that he has, that he can control others through a controlled being. Like he could control, you know, these other soups and these other characters from the body of Cipher. Just imagine the level of power this Thomas Godolkin guy has. Like literally, probably one of the most powerful soups in this universe. Up there with Homelander, up there with Murray. And Murray, not knowing that is Thomas Godolkin. I mean, she knew that was Thomas Godolkin, but she didn't knew that she is going to unleash the whole power of Thomas Godolkin by resurrecting him from his kind of paralysis. And now he is in full effect now. I mean, his whole kind of point to make Murray powerful was to get her to a point to resurrect him, to kind of make him alive again. And that has happened. So now we'll see what happens in the next episode with what goes on. I mean, sure, we know his main agenda. It is to cull the herd, to kind of diminish the population of these superheroes who are not as effective. He just wants to make superheroes gods. He doesn't want soups. No, he wants gods now, and that is what he's actually doing. So this is going to be an interesting one because you see, Marie in this episode, she did impossible feats. She literally healed Andre's father. I'm sorry, I forgot his name. Andre's father's seizures that he had in his brain, and like with his powers, she literally healed them in an instance. And like that, and she literally healed Thomas Godolkin's entire body. Like, just she was there and she healed it. I mean, that was one of the most powerful things we have seen from a soup in this universe. So I mean, literally, this episode was interesting. Like, it got me reinterested in this whole kind of story and this whole kind of universe. So yeah, super excited to see what happens in the last episode, which comes out next week. So stay tuned for that. Sub to the channel. Make sure you don't miss out any weekly uploads of this. And if you like some comic content, Marvel comics, DC comics, whatever, just stay here, sub to the channel. And yeah, that's it. Absolutely love this. And yeah, of course, I forgot to talk about her sister, which we get to know that even she has powers and actually she can see the future. So in this episode, she saw future where Marie actually is on the defeating side. She's like covered in blood and all of that. She's like lying there down and she's covered in a pool of blood. So things might get difficult for her. Things might get difficult for this group of young superheroes. Let's see what happens. And absolutely interested to see the last episode because this episode was good. Absolutely loved it. My personal favorite from season 2. That's it. I'll see you in the next.